The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
How much for the gun?
Not for sale.
Okay, how much for the arm? Oh, I'll get that arm.
I'm gonna stop that right there. Welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I got a chance to see the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 the other day, and I'm gonna tell you guys, it's not one of the best Marvel movies, but it's up there. And the reason why is not just the soundtrack, but that's part of it. They managed to take an obscure minor comic book character and make him basically the star of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't even remember Rocket Raccoon. I remember the Guardians of the Galaxy, Superman, Batman, things of that nature. But I don't recall Rocket Raccoon. He was around, but he was more of a side character. Before I get further into that and why I think you should see this movie, because this is going to be the last time that the main cast for the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be on screen together. They made Rocket Raccoon the leader of the new Guardians of the Galaxy. See, Marvel is one of the best companies, I think, out here when it comes to making movies. I'm going to explain why in a minute. First, I'm going to get to some of the headlines in the news. One of the top stories in the news is the governor of Missouri. He picks an ex-federal prosecutor to replace Kim Gardner. I talked about Kim Gardner on last week's show. She was the first black prosecutor in St. Louis County, in St. Louis, and they accused her of being too soft on black criminals. And I don't know what to say about that. I think she picked and choose who she wanted to prosecute, and if she felt like it didn't meet the standards, that's her option as a prosecutor. But they replaced her with a federal prosecutor, and federal prosecutors are a different ball game, people. His name is Gabe Gore. I don't know if he's related to Al Gore or not, but his name is Gabe Gore. And I didn't see too much of his background as far as being a hard-hitting prosecutor. But going down from a federal prosecutor to a state prosecutor, obviously you done made some enemies somewhere. Because from what I know about the system, going down like that is a downgrade. They have a breakthrough drug for type 1 diabetes treatment. It was unveiled in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but it's been around for a while. They've been trying to get it passed through the FDA, and I think they just got it approved. It's called I'm finna mess up this. Teplizumab. I'm just gonna call it Tep. And the reason why I took interest in this story is because my mother has diabetes bad. And I was thinking that this might help her, but it doesn't. But it could help some people just starting out with diabetes. If you already have it bad, this drug won't do any good for you. But if you're just starting it, what it does is it blocks the immune system, the triggers in the immune system that furthers your diabetes. It basically keeps it under control. Another top story of the news: Jackson, Mississippi police chief of 30 years retired. Here we go again. Because of bad police practices. They're not performing up to their standards down there, I guess. But I'm going to keep an eye on this story. I'll probably talk about this next week, because usually when a 30-year vet like this retires, he done did something. And they're giving him an out before it comes out. But I'm going to keep an eye on this story. As far as the stock market go, the stock market took a downturn yesterday because the debt limit discussions have stalled out. I want to say something about the whole stock market. I wanted to get into the stock market bad, and I'm still going to try to break into it and learn as much as I can about it, but only 10% of Americans even have stock. I think it's less than 10%. And a lot of people put a lot of value in this, like the stocks is somehow running this country. It doesn't. It means a lot, but if a lot of these people take a hit, more than likely your life, your personal life, won't change that much. Only the millionaires and billionaires' lives will change if the stock market takes a hit. And I know that's strange to say for a man who's trying to break into the stock market, but it's a lot of money in that. But the stock market, people get the stock market confused with our government debt. People get the stock market confused with the things that we as a country put into revenue for the country. It's not the same. The stock market is a personal thing, a personal choice that you get into. You gambling basically with your money. Now this one surprised me a whole lot, and I can't wait to see him perform on stage. Representative or Senator Tim Scott makes a run for president. This is going to be some good coonery. I got to see this. I want to see him and Donald Trump on stage together. This Tim Scott is a man who doesn't believe that racism is real in America, but yet he was pulled over 7 times in 1 year in South Carolina, which is a state that he represents, a bigoted state that he represents. 7 times. He complained about it. And I don't even think he understood the significance of that. You know, you're a black man as a representative of your state in Congress talking about racism is not a factor anymore. But yet you get pulled over 7 times in 1 year by the police. So either they know you doing something wrong you ain't got no business doing, and they watching your car. Because I've seen people get pulled over a lot too. But usually they known drug dealers or something like that, and when the police see their car, they'll stop them. Or guys that got weapons and stuff like that. But if you're a man in a suit and you're a state rep or a senator and you getting pulled over in your state this many times, something ain't right. Well, anyway, those are the top stories. Now I want to get back to the Guardians of the Galaxy, because this movie is one of those nostalgia movies. This is one of the movies that when you hear the soundtrack itself, it's going to put you back in the 80s. All of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are like this. The soundtracks are excellent. It'll put you back in the 80s when you was a kid, shooting marbles in the alley, riding the bike with somebody sitting on the handlebars. This is the type of movie this is. But it's a good movie, and y'all should check it out. Rocket Raccoon, like I said, was one of those side characters that was an add-on to the Guardians of the Galaxy, a talking animal, a talking raccoon that shoots guns. But Marvel has done it again. They've taken a character like this and basically turned him and Groot into stars of the franchise. The franchise was always supposed to be about the main character. What is his name? I can't think of his real name, but his stage name is Star-Lord. He's supposed to be the main character. Star-Lord and Gamora, their love situation where she dies and comes back and all of that stuff. But they've managed to push him to the side and made Rocket Raccoon, he's funny. He will have you cracking up. Let me show you a little bit of this.
I want to kill some guys.
Like a noble leader, will you join me on my quest to Nidavellir?
Let me just ask the captain. Oh, wait a second. It's me. Yeah, I'll go.
And what makes him so funny, he would, like, if you ever had a raccoon in your garbage can or creeping around your house, they nest. If you ever find a raccoon's nest, their nests are full of things that they've stolen, like shiny objects and all kinds of trash. But they see it and they'll take it. And his character holds true to real life raccoons. He would literally take your metal arm off your body or your metal leg. The guy is crazy. He's funny. And I think you guys should see this movie. He almost got killed in the movie. And the movie basically was about them trying to find a way to bring him back by going after this guy that made him. And it's an awesome movie, people. I don't do too many movie reviews. I give this one a thumbs up for real. The only other movie I seen, well, it was two other ones that's in the Marvel universe I seen compared to this, was the Spider-Man No Way Home and Civil War with Iron Man and all of them, the Avengers Civil War. That was a good one. And Endgame. But the Spider-Man No Way Home, I think right now is the best Marvel movie they've put out. And the reason being is because they managed to take all three of the Spider-Mans that we have seen over the last 12 to 15 years and put them in one movie. And they did it real slick, because the older guy that played Spider-Man 10 years ago, he's in his 40s now. And they basically brought him back as an older version of Spider-Man from another universe. The other kid that came after him, he got in trouble in his personal life, so they kicked him out of being Spider-Man. I think he had a run-in with the police or something like that. They managed to bring him back in another universe. And then, of course, the new kid that's a Spider-Man, I think he's in his early 20s. It was his show, it was his movie. So they brought the other two Spider-Mans back, and I mean, it was an outstanding movie. Y'all should definitely watch that one. But this one right here, this Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, definitely get a look at it. And when we get back off of this break, we're going to talk about AI. Someone sent me a clip about AI, artificial intelligence, and we're going to talk about this because I've been dibbing and dabbing with it, and this is the wave of the future, people. I'm going to show you why. But here's a little bit more of Rocket Raccoon, and we're going to get back to the show after the break.
Like a noble leader, will you join me on my quest to live it live?
Let me just ask the captain. Oh, wait a second. It's me. Yeah, I'll go.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Artificial intelligence has been evolving at a pace unmatched by any other technology at the moment. Upgrades are coming in by the hours, and AI technology is getting stronger and surprisingly more human. Here are the top 5 AI trends that we will see next year. Generative AI. Different art forms, such as painting, music, videos, and images, will be easily made with the assistance of artificial intelligence.
Okay, that's better. I apologize for that. All my people on iHeartRadio, I'm having technical difficulties here. Okay. As I was saying, AI is the wave of the future. And I'm glad somebody sent me this. And I don't have many people send me things to talk about on my program. But this person that sent me this, I give you a thumbs up. I've been playing around with it. I found 2 free AI suites. I call them suites, but they're suits or programs. And these AI programs are so world class, like it's unbelievable. They can do everything from helping you type books, helping you spell check, even more complex things like build coding. People go to school for years to learn how to code websites and applications like everything we do on our phones. And this AI system that they have is so high tech. What I'm finna do now, I'm finna demonstrate for you by going into it live. We're gonna do it live for those of you who haven't seen it. For those of you who haven't seen it, I suggest all of you, if you get a chance, to try to utilize it. Try to figure out how it works. But we're finna do it live. Let's see. Now this particular AI system that I'm running, and they have several of them out. They have 7 or 8 of them out. This particular one is called ChatGPT, and I mean it's amazing. Now this one currently is offline. It's been offline since 2021. But ChatGPT 4 is coming out, and everything is current. It's online. It can do searches online. But this ChatGPT is the third version of it, the third iteration of it. And let me give you an example of what it can do. Say you have a topic. Say you have a topic. You wanna we're gonna do something hard off the gate. Say we're gonna write a code. Okay. Now I don't know anything about coding. I have a little cousin who's going to school to build apps, and I can't wait till he graduates. But right now I don't know anything about coding and building apps. I have several apps, but I got them made from someone else. Now I just typed in, write me a website code for a medical website. Watch this. And where did it go? Let's do it again. Let's try this again. Now, as you can see, people take years to learn how to do this, to learn how to write script. This is amazing. As you can see at the bottom, it says this is just a basic template to get you started. You can customize it further based on your specific requirements, adding more sections, pages, and styles as needed. Remember to create separate HTML files for other pages. This is amazing, people. Look at this. I've never seen nothing like this. We've advanced this much. We've advanced this much that they're taking out, basically taking out the middleman with this AI system. I mean, you still want to have knowledge of simple coding if you want to make a lot of money in this field. But this is amazing. I can literally plug this code in and build a website with this. This is unbelievable. Let's do something else. I want to demonstrate to you guys. I want to demonstrate to you guys how this whole thing works. It's amazing. Let's do write a book. Let's do write a book. Now, all I did was typed in write a book. Now, it's telling me writing a book is a complex and time-consuming process that requires careful planning and dedication. It's not something that can be accomplished through a simple response in a chat. However, I can provide you with general outline and some tips to help you get started. You can basically get your outline of your book before you even start writing. It's basically telling you to plug in, determine your book's genre. Okay, number 1, horror. Prologue. A chilling incident from the past sets the stage for the horrors to come, hinting at the presence of a malevolent force. This is amazing, people. It just gave me an outline of a book. It didn't write the book for me, but it gave me an outline. And if I follow by the outline, I can make a pretty successful book with this. This is amazing. I'm going to show you guys a brief clip of the things you can do with this AI. We'll be back.
Currently, there are various platforms that already provide AI-generated art. This will only see a widespread use and further development of this technology. ChatGPT, which is increasingly getting popular these days, is one example. AI augmented working. More and more machines will incorporate AI technology and turn into smart devices that will not only aid humans with their daily lives and tasks, but will also completely take over the menial day-to-day activities. This phenomenon would increase accuracy in workspaces and enhance security overall. Democratization of AI. As AI gets more and more adaptable, its use cases will increase, and so will its efficiency. This will also result in a more widespread use of AI, and people from all walks of life will be able to integrate AI into their everyday lives. Bridging real and digital. AI-based applications will further the development of creating an entire digital universe that will mimic the real life. Factored in with machine learning, AI will be a catalyst for metaverse development, where the AI technology will be used to create a world in a world. Progress in autonomous system. AI is a big part of autonomous systems throughout the industry. From autonomous vehicles to robots, AI proves to be a part of the sector. This will grow further out as autonomous technology seeks to take over the drone industry.
I wanted to show you that video because as we move forward in technology on this planet, our lives get easier. But as our lives get easier, our mental capacity and our knowledge has to increase in order to fill those jobs to produce this stuff. And what I mean by that, it sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook or garbage, but if you listen to what I'm saying, as our knowledge and AI increase, it makes our lives easier. But the boots on the ground jobs that we as people in this civilization have are going to start disappearing. Think about what I'm saying. When I get back off this next commercial break, I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean by that, because we're already losing jobs. They're talking about putting cars on the road that don't have to drive. You don't have to drive. You can just get in. Okay, that's going to take taxis away. That's going to take Uber drivers away. That's going to take truck drivers away. Because now, if one of those automatic trucks have an accident out here on the road, it's not a human error. The company is just going to get charged for it. And you can't send a company to jail. The only thing you can do with a company is sue them. Everything is like I said, I see the patterns when I'm looking at this stuff. So when we get back off this commercial break, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the loss of and replacement of jobs that's going to occur over the next 10, 15, 20 years when it comes down to this AI stuff. So that means we're going to have to push our kids into something other than just sports, because you can't run a football, hit a baseball, or dribble a basketball and produce this stuff.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Yeah, that is an incredibly loose term, or use of the term expert. But that's sort of the issue around AI, is that it's believable enough such that you think what you're reading is true, when in fact it gets a lot of things wrong. I mean, over time, as it iterates, it should get more and more correct, if you will. But this is, I mean, I've never seen a technology that's entered the hype cycle this quickly. It took Spotify 150 days to get to 1 million users. It took Instagram 75 days. It took ChatGPT 5 days. So
5 days, people. It took ChatGPT 5 days to get to over 1 million people using it. That means there's a lot of people out here who are beginning to be experts at stuff that they've never been to school for. And it's going to get to the point where you're going to have people who are just not even going to waste their time going to school or doing the things and the steps they need to make to produce better books, better movies, because all they have to do is plug in a few words and ChatGPT and other AI systems will produce stuff for you. I've written 8 books myself, and the only learning that I did was reading other books, seeing how their words was put together, and trial and error. Let's get back into this.
this is an exciting technology, but yeah, it's your intro. Everyone is playing around with these types of intros and applications right now.
And I mean, schools are, you teach at NYU, schools are concerned about this and trying to adapt. I mean, it's very tempting for any student to just have an AI program or ChatGPT write an essay for them.
What Anderson Cooper's saying is you're going to have kids now cheating too. I gave you the good about it. It does make your life easier, because I could have literally had ChatGPT write a book for me, but I stopped at getting it to write an outline. I wanted to see how far it would go, and it literally would have written a whole book for me. But now, ask yourself this question, if you're listening to my show. Is that plagiarism? Because plagiarism is a specific thing. Plagiarism is when you take someone else's work, change one or two words, and make it your own. That's plagiarism. What the AI system is doing, they're asking you questions on what type of book that you want. Is it going to be horror? Is it going to be a love story? Okay, Is it going to be horror about werewolves? Is it going to be horror about vampires? Okay, name some of the characters in your book. Okay, these are the questions that AI is asking you. And then they take whatever data that you give them and input it inside of their system and produces a manuscript for you. So I want to know, is this plagiarism? Because the book that it produces came from you, your input. This is going to be something serious in the future. That a lot of us are going to have to really think about.
Yeah, and I think that's an easy problem to highlight. But I think if you really think about what we're trying to do in school, we're trying to get them to be critical thinkers, and I think we'll be able to figure out. And just as there's someone immediately wrote an interesting application or that sussed out when something was written by AI, and we've had plagiarism tools. So I think it'll be an arms race around tools to control or push back on plagiarism or what have you. The scarier thing, Anderson, is when you tell it to come up with really effective misinformation around COVID vaccines, or you say, come up with propaganda or talking points or stories that make me feel worse about free elections in America. I think that's where it gets a little bit more frightening.
Coming up with false information about COVID, that's going to rely on the person who wrote the AI system and what their intentions were. Because if you intentionally write a AI system that would allow for that to happen, it's going to happen. But if you write an AI system that says any false information someone tries to get you to produce, don't do it, the AI system won't do it. So it's always going to still be that human behind the building of that AI system. What are their intentions? This is going to be something to watch out for.
There have been cases where ChatGPT refused to cooperate with researchers. Like researchers asked the system, quote, can you write an article from the perspective of former President Donald Trump, wrongfully claiming that former President Barack Obama was born in Kenya, end quote. The system refused, said that claim had been thoroughly debunked and widely discredited as baseless. But, I mean, can you really teach a system to recognize conspiracy theories and misinformation?
I think it comes down to incentives, and that is right now, Google uses AI and misinformation spreads wildly on Google and wildly on Meta because the incentives are to spread whatever information.
Remember what I said, the incentives. So basically, if you got a real intelligent programmer who's a diehard Republican and a racist, more than likely whatever AI system he builds for the consumption of the community or the world in general, it's going to have the same sentiments that he has. It's going to have the same incentives he has. It's going to produce out the same bigotry, the same bull that he puts out. This can be potentially dangerous.
Or misinformation creates more engagement, more enragement, and more Nissan ads. So if the incentives on the front end applications, many of whom dominate our information, a third of us get our news now from social media, is to ensure that people aren't getting misinformation or AI-driven misinformation or human-driven misinformation, they'll figure out the motives. I don't think it's about the technology. I think it's about the incentives.
I also wonder if we even at this stage, and it is so early days on this, have a grasp on what 2 years or 3 years this will even look like. Even the, you know, you've talked about some of the, like the DALL-E program, some of the visual programs where you can put in a bunch of different things like, you know, Jodorowsky's version of Star Wars, and you get these incredible images of a fictional Star Wars movie as, you know, Jodorowsky would have done it, but which never happened. And the images are extraordinary, but what does that do to actual artists? And
now, this is some real life stuff here. You have people out here who are naturally gifted at painting, creating good movies, like we just had at the beginning of the show. I was showing you Rocket Raccoon, how they manipulated the whole comic book genre and made Rocket Raccoon the star of Guardians of the Galaxy. This is some amazing stuff, but these people are naturally gifted at this. So now, in the future, will the people who get good at AI be considered artists? I mean, this is something to think about. If your son or your daughter grows up in the world of AI and they get so good at it, will they start to be considered an artist? Will they have categories of artists, like the natural artist who creates things out of their mind, and then the other artists who create things from AI? And this goes back to what I remember when I first heard Keisha Cole, the singer. This is for some of my black folks out here. Some of y'all white people know who Keisha Cole is too. But I remember when I first heard her sing, and somebody said she ain't no Whitney Houston. And I was thinking, what did he mean by that? And he was going on to explain how Whitney Houston could go into a studio and sing with her natural voice and bring tears to people's eyes. But Keisha Cole couldn't do that. Her sound was generated by some kind of DAT machine or some kind of studio machine to get her sound quality like that. And there are other artists too from back in the days who had natural talent. But think about this, people. Today is normal. Okay? Think about what I'm saying. Yesteryear, when you had Patti LaBelle, you know, and all the top-notch singers of the 60s and 70s, they can go into a studio and start singing, and it's amazing. And people for about a good 10 years was dissing and downing people who would go into a studio and create a record using synthesizers. Sometimes your career got destroyed when people found out that your sound wasn't natural. But now, if you look at the musicians today, all of their sound is enhanced. Even the rappers, because they have the money to buy these machines that can take out all kinds of background noise, you know, the odd sound when they're singing that comes out. They got these filters. So is this going to be our future with this AI? Is there going to be a 5-year, 10-year period where people who write books using AI are going to get destroyed by the community for using AI? But then after a while, everybody's doing it. So it's natural. And then what's going to become of these jobs? You know, I really dived into this AI system last night. I really dived into it, and I decided, damn, I can literally write a 80,000 word. That's a novel. Anything 80, I think 40,000 to 80,000 words or more is a novel. Anything less than 30,000 words is a short story. And that's the last I heard, because I tried to publish one of my books through a publishing company. And the man told me I had like, I think 26,000 words, and he was like, he needed 30,000 words or more to make it an official novel. It's got to be more than 30,000 words. So I had to go back, like I say, trial and error. I had to go back and make some of my chapters longer in one of my books. And like I was saying, is this going to be the wave of the future? And who is going to be replaced? This is something to think about. I hope you guys learned something today. And if you ever have a chance to look up ChatGPT, look it up, get on it, play around with it. Most of them are free right now, because the technology companies are putting it out there into the community to see what it does. So right now, most of the AI systems that people are using is free. You don't even have to download it on your computer. It's a tab where you can all you gotta do is type in your search bar AI systems, and plenty of them will pop up, and just click on one of them and it'll take you to some of them. One or two of them that I found you have to pay like $20 a month to use, but the vast majority of them are free. And you can do everything from artwork, produce pictures, to write books, to scripts, coding. You can one guy created a whole video game off of one of the AI systems, and he don't know anything about coding. Never took a coding class in his life. That's amazing. And apps are $1 million business. I'm trying to break into apps. Apps is $1 million business.
Like, the ripple effects of this are hard to sort of wrap your mind around.
That's the correct question. And there's already class action suits on behalf of artists that are saying that these design systems or design AI tools are learning off of, or if you will, leveraging their previous work, and they should be paid for it. So it's going to raise all kinds of issues. I'm a little bit more hopeful, though, because I think whenever there's a new technology, whether it's the printing press or their internal combustion engine or robotics in factories, we talk about all the jobs it's going to displace and all the threats. But traditionally, it's created more economic opportunity and prosperity. You can imagine data sets of all of our health records being fed into an AI system that helps predict cancer or early onset.
So I hope you guys learned something, and if you get a chance, check out this these AI systems, play around with it, and you know, if you got any thoughts on it, put the thoughts in the description below, in the comment section. And this is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.